It is pouring so much right now. You can't really tell as much on the camera because the camera can kind of see through fog and stuff. But we got about 2 inches so far in the past half an hour. We're on our way to look at the Palmer Lake drain to see it during high flow, which it should be doing because most of its water is coming from parking lots, and those are going to shed really fast since they have a broken retention pond that the state of Massachusetts refuses to enforce for ocean state job lots. It'll be there really fast. The downpours have stopped, but that system will not stop for a few hours the way it's set up. It's got a lot of land and water to clear. A storm drain, if it's open and working properly, it'll clear a downpour and flood its street in like 5 minutes, but this system's gonna take hours, so not too worried about missing it. We're about 10 minutes out. It's pouring again. Another band of heavy rain. Entire road has running water going down it. I bet there's a flood up here like 100 feet in front of me. Water always crosses here because of a stupid undersized culvert. Where is it? Yep, I was right. Look at all the water crossing right here. Undersized pipe right here. Okay, there's an area up here on a typical year that usually floods. Let's see if it's flooding again. The DOT has been sweeping these problematic areas a lot this year. But like I always say, torrential rain will drag stuff out of the woods and it'll find debris to clog it. And this is really heavy rain. Right around this corner sometimes floods. Well, it's not. Hear that noise? I'm throwing a wall of water at the sidewalk. There's so much water going down this road because the storm drains can't handle it. But guess where all this water's going? This is all watershed to the lake drain. All this water I'm driving through right now is going to the lake drain. There's the retention pond I was talking about that's broken. Look down there. Oh, there's water blasting into it. Oh, look at this flood right here. Storm drains just can't handle it. There's not a clog. Okay, turning down here where the lake drain is. There's such a surge going into this. This lake drain has got to be blasting right now. And then maybe we'll drive around and look for some floods, but I highly doubt we'll see it. This is like insane rain. We probably got at least 3 inches in the past hour, but yet there's no flooding because the DOT took this really seriously, some stuff that happened, and now they're sweeping constantly. And for the most part, it's helping. There's a few floods, but for the most part, it's really helping. Hey, here we are at the lake drain. Very muddy. Pulling on in. Let's quickly get out. If it's not flooding, we'll come back in like an hour after we go do a little bit of storm chasing, because it might not even be down here fully. Scary. There's a lot of lightning. Oh yeah, look at it going around. Whoa, there's so much water. I've never seen that much before. It's not a ton, but it's a lot. I want to get off this metal structure. There's a lot of lightning. If you didn't see my last video, they put this fence up for legal reasons. They said they're not even going to lock it. It's legal reasons. Just having this up will cover them in a court if some little kid falls into that. Because when this is shut, a little kid won't know to walk around it like a adult would. It's supposed to be kept shut. They're not going to lock it though. It's for legal reasons to cover them if that does happen. This is actually supposed to be shut, they said, but they're not going to lock it. Okay, now this is a very common flood in Palmer. Can't do anything about this one. If you just saw that, the storm drains are reversing. Okay, now this is a very common flood in Palmer. Can't do anything about this one. Just saw that. The storm drains are reversing because the river right here behind these buildings is flooding. So when it floods, these storm drains work in reverse. And why is that? Because they don't have backflow protection. These storm drains are working in reverse. They need backflow protection. What that is basically a big flapper which only can flow one way. When the river floods, it will shut. But I guess the road would technically still flood anyways because all this water coming down the edge of the street, it would pond it anyways. Let's go visit the Kmart sinkhole. How is the Kmart sinkhole doing today in torrential rain? Oh, not good at all. Not good at all. This is the Kmart sinkhole. Look at that. The drain is not even working. There's just a big flood. It'll drain eventually, slowly. That sinkhole's not huge. I don't even see any movement. It's like completely collapsed now. That's gonna take a while to go away. Yeah, that sinkhole's not big, and it probably won't get big. It's just a separated joint in the pipe. So the worst that could happen is it creates a big pothole where you'd break an axle, but you shouldn't be speeding in the parking lot to the point where you wouldn't see that. Alrighty, it's still raining a bit. It's about 30 minutes later. All that flooding water will be in this place now, waiting to get down that drain. Oh yeah, it's definitely louder now. Definitely louder. Yeah, you can see the water came around even more. Yeah, that is a ton of water this time. Yeah, look at that all spilling around to the bigger opening. That's probably the most water we'll ever see at this. 3 inches of rain in 1 hour. You don't get that too often. There's still some lightning. So I'm gonna step off this. We're gonna go look at the discharge. Look at all the silt in the road. Ton of silt. And they got the silt filter set up here, which is making a flood into the road. We're gonna lift that up for a moment and let it release. Look at all that water coming out of the lake drain. Ton of it. See that coming down here? Gonna briefly lift it up. Oh, look at it go, look at it go now. Oh, we're draining, we're draining. This thing's actually pretty heavy. Oh, it's draining quickly. The filter's clogged up with crap, so it's not really, you know, it's not really porous anymore. And let's jam a rock under here. This thing's getting really heavy. I'll put it back down before I leave. We're getting rid of this puddle in the road. I drove through that like a half an hour ago when I left. Can't find any more floods around here. That's a ton of water coming out. As the water speeds up, you can fit more through a pipe. You see, right here, it's barely full. See how fast it's rushing? I'd say maybe 20% of the pipe is filled, but at the entrance, it's more like 60% of it's full in this big storm. As you get it going, that's what happens. Whoa, so much lightning. But what would happen is if we had even more rain than this and it filled the entire pipe, what happens is it would start siphoning. If the entire 100% of the beginning starts, it's gonna start pulling. That weight of the water moving through the pipe will cause more, and it'll turn into a vacuum. That's what the old lake drain did. But the old lake drain was a rusty piece of garbage. Still waiting for this to drain. And guess what? Believe it or not, this new one is also failing. They didn't put it in correctly. They didn't joint it together correctly. They compacted it wrong. Some portions of it look like ovals. There's big cracks with spraying water. Oh, it's pouring again. Whoa. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna tell you why. That's running clean. There's nothing like silt even going into the waterway, as you can see. The grass is catching the silt. So we're just gonna leave it like that. It's all for the good, or for the better, leaving it like that. Not gonna cause any problem. It's pouring again. I can't believe it. It's July. We broke a record for most rainfall ever in one July. Right now, we're close to a foot. Normal is under 4 inches. So much rain this July. It's amazing. But yet, the roads don't flood anymore because they send sweepers so often now.